Hey YouTube, so since I've been getting a lot more subscribers now, I'm gonna try to make a couple more videos more often. So as you saw in my last video, I stretched to half inch, and as you can see now, I'm not at half inch. And the reason for this is that I got two blowouts in both my ears, and I didn't notice, like I noticed the one, so I took it out and took care of it. But I didn't notice my left ear had a blowout until about 2 weeks in, which is not so good because my ear started healing around it. So I'm going to give you a bit of advice on what worked for me to help get rid of my blowout because right now they're both gone. Alright, so in case you didn't know what a blowout is, it pretty much happens when one, you either stretch too fast, or two, you stretch improperly. And pretty much what happens is that pressure is built up so much in your ear that it kind of shoots out the back instead of properly stretching the skin. It kind of just pushes it out the back, which is not so good. It doesn't necessarily cause any harm, but it looks really ugly and it's a pain to get rid of if you don't treat it immediately. And a lot of people say, it only happens to people who stretch too fast, but that's not true because I was at 7/16 for 8 months and then I tried to go to half inch and I got a blowout. And the reason why I got a blowout is because I used a taper. And once you get to bigger sizes like half inch, 3/4, that kind of stuff, I would not recommend using tapers because they're not the best for your ears and they are what cause blowouts. And if you're unsure if you have a blowout, if you're looking at your ear and you see a little flap of skin, you're not really sure, it's most likely a blowout because if your ear isn't happy, it'll tell you. If after 3 or 4 days you stretch your ears and they're still really, really sore, I would just recommend downsizing because your ear isn't ready for it. If it's ready for it, it'll heal properly and it'll be nice and, juicy. It won't have a thin earlobe. It won't hurt too much. It won't have a big throbbing piece of skin in front. So if you're concerned if you have a blowout or if you're not sure, give it a few days, kind of take a look at it, grab a mirror, check it out, and yeah, just make sure you take care of it. Back up to half inch. So when my blowout happened, I didn't really have anything to help it. So doing some research, I heard about bio oil, and like you saw in my other videos, I use regularly vitamin E oil, which is good, but I find that bio oil is a hell of a lot better. It's not so sticky like honey. It's a nice oil. Like it'll dry up. It's very, very good. So I would rub this on my blowout like 2 times a day, accompanied by sea salt soaks. Which, if you don't know where that is, you can find out what it is on most piercing websites. Pretty much, you just take a bowl of hot water. You add a little bit of non-iodized salt in it, and then you rest your ear in it for about 4 or 5 minutes, and that really helps kill off the bacteria and make your ears a little happier. And that, along with the bio oil, it took about a week and a half to completely get rid of my blowout, which I thought was miraculous. So if you ever have a blowout, immediately downsize. I know it sucks, I know it's hard, I know you don't want to downsize because you just went through all that pain to get to the next size, but you have to downsize or else you'll run along a lot of problems later on, which is not so good. So downsize, give it about a week and a half to 2 weeks until it's fully healed. And if you're planning on tapering right after your blowout, I would suggest waiting longer. But since I'm taping, and I'm going to be taping probably over the course of 2 to 3 weeks to half inch, then, I can start now. It's been about 2 or 3 weeks actually since my blowout. And the thing about blowouts and healing it is that you have to be persistent with your cleaning and persistent with your oil rubs. And if you're not, then it's not really going to get fixed. And you have to downsize. They say sometimes to downsize 2 sizes. However, I really didn't want to go back to 00 because that's really small. So I went back to 7/16 and it was fine. Also, when you just recently stretched or when you have a blowout and you're trying to heal it, I would recommend using surgical steel. It's natural to your body. Your body doesn't hate it. It's going to help you heal your ears way better than with acrylic because acrylic is sometimes dangerous for your ears depending on your body. You get to know your body, you get to know what your body likes. Sometimes you like organic, sometimes you don't. But for most people, the case is surgical steel is best when healing your ears.